Time for a bit of selection by attributes. Now, attributes are things like fill color, stroke weight, graphics, all kinds of things that you can put together into some kind of combination to find what you need quickly. Again, the whole thing is about selecting what you need efficiently so you can get the job done. Now, if you go up to the word select on the pull-down menu, you will notice we have several things up here. We're going to look at these two right here. Same and object. Those are the two we're going to play around with. For example, if I come over and select this obnoxious little circle right here, I can then go to the word select and go down to same what? Well, how about same appearance? I don't think anything up there has the same appearance as that, but let's check to make sure. I was right. Nothing else got selected. Let's try again. Let's go back to same and say, well, I'll tell you what. I need to find every object that has the same stroke weight as that one, and I need to change the stroke weight on all of those to a different number. So let's go down to stroke weight. In this case, we got quite a few. This one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Now, the stroke weight is all 1 point. The others obviously don't have a 1 point stroke. And at this point, we can actually come over here and change that. See, that's the beauty of being able to select something based on like an attribute. Because you can say, well, everything that's 1 stroke point, everything's got to be 1.5 because that's what our spec said. All strokes will be 1.5. So let me find those and change them. That's what you can do with attribute selection. If we come back up again, let's select this one right here. Let's come back up again to select and go down to same and say, well, I wonder if anything has the same stroke color or fill color. Let's try stroke color. In this case, 3 objects. Well, you get the idea. It is a really cool feature, but you also have something else. Let me select this guy right here. And we go back up to select and go down, this time to object. I want to select everything that's in this layer. So I'll say everything that's on the same layer is that one right there. There you go. These are all in the same layer. The other ones are in the other layer. So I actually had 2 layers with my objects in them, and it found them. Well, that's pretty easy actually, but it did. The one I like the best is this one right up here when you get into object, and that is not aligned to the pixel grid. What that means is, especially when you're doing web stuff, if you align things to the pixel grid, you have less of a chance of things looking pixelated and distorted on your web pages. So if this were some kind of website, I suppose, I would say, well, let me make sure everything's aligned to that pixel grid. And in this case, actually, everything is not aligned with the exception of this right here. Apparently that is. I could then use that information to move the items to align them to the pixel grid, and it's going to save me a ton of time trying to figure it out on my own. That's a nice feature. Now, if we come back up again on select and go to object, there's another one, stray points, that I use a lot. Now, what's a stray point? We haven't gotten into the pen tool yet, but we will. The pen tool makes mathematical shapes. A lot of times, you'd be surprised how often this does happen. You have a stray point somewhere. It's just sitting out there. It ain't doing nothing. Not connected to anything, and they're invisible. And I go, stray points. I'm going to hold the control key down to get rid of the bounding box. See them? There's one there, 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 and there. And I can press the delete key and get rid of them because there is no reason you need a stray point. But again, like I said, you'd be surprised how often that happens. Lots of different ways that we can select by attributes, even things we haven't gotten to yet, like clipping masks. There's a lot of versatility here and a lot of power in making these selections, but you don't have to do them from here. If you go to your control area here, there's a button right over here. And if you click that button, there's a lot of our options right there. Fill color, stroke color, etc. Let's say go into this one, and we'll click this one right here, and we'll come up here, and we'll go into stroke color. Go ahead, selected those 3. Now this is what they call a sticky tool. What does that mean? Well, that means that if I come over here again and I select this one, and the next thing I want to do is that same thing, if I come up here, I don't have to click here because it's selected right here. all I have to do is click this button, and it will select the last thing that I asked for. Attribute selection, an amazing, great, powerful tool in Adobe Illustrator. On to the next.